What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Nerdy Jock this channel where I talk about sports and uh, several things within the world of nerdom. If you're watching this, I want to extend my thanks. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. I want to talk about a few things today. One thing is the season premiere of Daredevil Born Again season 2. It's quite a mouthful. Came out. And the season premiere was, in my opinion, excellent. Not only did it deliver um, that classic Netflix version of Daredevil that we all know and love, it also gave us just some really great beats within the story. Excuse me. So it started off, Matt's on the boat. He's going through looking for, what we suspect is something to do with Fisk. And sure enough, he finds it, a hidden storage place full of military grade weapons. By the way, spoiler for the episode. And the captain and the co-captain essentially see that he's on a ship. Were given strict orders if anyone was aboard the ship to sink it. So they do. They sink the ship, and of course, Fisk is furious, and he essentially labels it a terrorist act. And then the search for both Matt and Karen, who are back in a relationship, begins with his task force because he ordered them to really double down on finding them. We're introduced to Matt Lillard's character. I don't remember his name in the show, but essentially we're led to believe he's the contact between Fisk and somebody who is utilizing the port under Fisk's control as mayor to bring in weapons, maybe other contraband as well. We're not sure. At one point, he kind of barges in the mayor's office while the attorney general is there and someone else from Albany is there, and they're kind of reading Fisk the riot act about the ship and about his stance on vigilantes and the steps he's taken. And Matthew's character looks at the DA and says, his phone's ringing, and he says, "You might want to take that." You see him go, okay, all right. Thank you, Miss DeFonte. Speaking about Miss DeFonte, who of course we know from last time we saw her was in the Thunderbolts movie. We know that she is no stranger to corrupt means to meet her goals. We saw this also in the extra credit scene for Black Widow. We saw that in Black Panther 2. She's just a real evil bitch. Another interesting thing we see is the psychiatrist from season 1 that got attacked by Muse. She's running a psychological exam on the swordsman. And we see her looking like a mirror, like a door. The door has like a window in it. And she sees Muse. And when she sees him, you see the camera tilt, like she's kind of becoming like her grip on reality is slipping. I'm kind of going all over the place, but she becomes very hostile towards the swordsman and basically threatens him. And so, it just and it happens another time when she's on the phone with the prosecution about, as he's essentially asking her to doctor the psychological exam to make it look like he's a crazed person. And once again, as she's on the phone talking to the prosecutor, she again sees Muse in like a mirror, and again the camera tilts, and it's actually a very interesting shot. And then we see Fisk's men kill the captain um, of the ship, and we see after the grand showboating in Fisk's office with his people and the district attorney, we see him meet with Fisk and Vanessa, and he goes over the business arrangement, and Fisk assures him, hey, two of the things that I found interesting that I like what they did in the show. One is they did like this propaganda video where you see the task force, and they're happy and interviewing people on New York streets, and they're laughing and talking about how safe New York is, how much Fisk has done for New York. Then you see this, we saw this in the trailer, this video with a person wearing like a Fisk mask, and it's basically like an anti-Fisk video where they talk about his corruption and everything he's doing to hurt New York. And it's really interesting what they do and what they did with it. And I don't want to get political or controversial, but a lot of what the task force does, even the psychiatrist, when she's talking to the swordsman, he's like, I know my rights, and she's like, you have no rights, you're a vigilante, we can do whatever we want, because of Mayor Fisk's executive order, essentially, that gives us power over you because of who you are. It parallels a lot what we're seeing in society, and it's quite terrifying. It's unspeakably terrifying to see someone have that much control over another person. And yeah, it's not good. And the fact that what's going on in our society is also being basically ran the same way by a evil, overzealous, malignant, insidious, and absolutely just a cancerous individual with no regard, no second thought to anyone else or to anything else other than his own objectives and achieving them by any means necessary. And to see someone like that and see how he operates and to see the parallel between our current society is troubling, to say the least. But it was a great episode, a great start to the season. And the ending, again, I'm not good with names, so please forgive me, but the retired detective, the older black gentleman who we saw throughout season 1 kind of help Matthew and his firm, he's attacked by the task force because he's kind of looking into the ship through his captain and everything. And Matt goes to save him, and basically he hears him having a heart attack, so he freezes because it makes him think about Foggy, and hear Foggy's heart slowly give out. And basically get beat Matt, and they're about to kill him, and then they're all killed, and a knife is thrown through the window with the words "You're welcome" written on it. And I think it's supposed to be Bullseye that basically saves Matt's life, because of course we know much he hates Matt. He hates Fisk now too for kind of I guess his wife setting him up and everything. So you know he's a much of an enemy of Fisk's as Matt is now. But it was a really good episode, ended really strong. If season 2 is going to continue on this track, it's going to be a great season, and this is a return to form. I liked season 1. I heard someone else say this, and it's very true. At least I agreed with his sentiment. Was that season 1 was Born Again? I'm talking about was good, but it did something that felt off about it. Like it wasn't quite as good as the first 3 Netflix seasons. It was good, but not quite that good. So if you go to your favorite restaurant, you order the same thing, and it's always amazing. It's your favorite dish, and you go there, and they kind of have new ownership. The old owner passed away, or they moved on, they sold, whatever the case may be, and someone else takes over the restaurant, and you come back you get your favorite dish, and you order it under this new ownership, and the dish is fine, it's good, and basically any other restaurant it would be serviceable, but in this one restaurant where you're used to this certain quality, it just tastes a little off. Not quite the same quality. It's good. And in any other restaurant, it would be amazing, maybe. Because this restaurant has set such a high bar. It's just not quite the same. And that's kind of how I felt about Daredevil Born Again. It was great. But the Netflix Daredevil set such a high bar that it's hard to reach that. So this one started off great. A return to form for the Netflix days. I'm excited for it. Number 2, I want to talk about number 2 I want to talk about today is Invincible, the new episode. Spoilers, like spoilers, like heavy spoilers. I'm spoiling everything. We start off with Mark. He's kind of having a lot of self-doubt after killing the guy that was infected with the alien, slug things, and the sequids, and essentially he's still feeling a guilt, not only from that, but from also beating, what's his name, the guy that turns to rock, beating him almost to death, and Oliver basically telling him, Mark, please don't do it. And so, he's talking to the guy that makes the costumes, that the older guy, and he's like, hey, I have a lot of doubt. I don't know what's going on. And the guy's like, you know who never had any doubt? You know who never came here upset about killing someone? Your father. Because Mark basically said, I'm scared I'm going to be like him. He's like, you're not like him. The fact that you care that it's eating you alive, you killed this guy, even though killing him was completely justified. And he even says, like, if I'm ever possessed by an alien and killing me is going to save the world, he said, I'm going to accept my fate. So, it's very, you're seeing Mark be very, he beat himself up over what happened. And then we see Damien Darkblood. If you remember him, you see like the Hellboy like character, which I love Hellboy. I'm a huge Hellboy fan. So seeing him, I really like Damien. He's a character I enjoy, I love, and he's with his clan, and they're fighting this lava lady. Best way I can describe her. and they get their asses kicked. And so they go to Satan and basically tell Satan, hey, we need help. We can't win this by ourselves. So he summons Mark to hell, and Mark is there, and Mark's like, what's going on? And of course he knows Damien, and Damien was like, yeah, you're in hell. And Mark's like, seriously? He's like, yeah, you're here. We need your help. So reluctantly, he agrees to help, and he gets Satan back in power because essentially they're saying this lava lady will summon these horrible creatures that the demons have been essentially, excuse me, essentially keeping at bay. And if she allows them to come up, they allow her to, get them to um, come up from, and form an army again. She's going to destroy the world. Once again, Mark's like, oh, I guess I have to do what I have to do. And he helps Satan and the demons take it over. It's actually an amazing episode. A lot of humor. It's really well done. Um, it's just a fantastic, fantastic episode. Another great, so far great season of Invincible, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I love this show. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows, and this week was no different. But anyway, so towards the end we see Eve, and we found out last episode that she's pregnant. She's talking to William, of course, Mark's best friend, and telling him that she's pregnant and all these doubts she have, and he's like, "Why are you talking to me? Go talk to Mark." And so she finds Mark on the roof of the house, and she's like, "Hey, we need to talk." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like going through a lot." And he's like, "Yeah, let's talk." And right as she's about to tell him, like, 'cause she even said, like, there's no, like, good time to tell you this. I'm just going to blurt it out. You see Mark look up and go, what the fuck? And it's Omni Man and Alan Alien. And Omni Man is like, Mark, I'm sorry, but I have no choice. I need your help. Episode ends. Amazing episode. What they're doing with Invincible. I heard this said that The Boys is better than Invincible. I vehemently disagree. I could not disagree more. I think Invincible is worlds better than The Boys. And I'm someone, I don't love nihilism. That's not my preference, as it were. So The Boys look just too nihilistic for me, and I don't care for it. If you do, that's amazing. There's some good episodes in The Boys, at least from the little bit I saw of it. But overall, I'm just not a fan. So 2 more things I want to talk about. One, we finally got confirmation for the Punisher special, May 12th. Punisher One More Kill, I think it's called. I might be off, but it's something like that. Something to that effect. One More Kill, something like that. But May 12th, we have a confirmed date. I'm excited. Now they say Punisher isn't going to be in Daredevil. He won't make an appearance this season, but he's going to be in Spider-Man. So see him in Spider-Man, see him get his own special is really exciting. I love Punisher, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really, really fun to see him go out there and be this amazing character, and to see him done properly, because there was some concerns that after Disney, got the rights back to Punisher, they weren't necessarily going to do him the right way. But I think they will. I think it's going to be fine. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. And the one thing I'll leave you with, Today is the 10-year anniversary of a certain film that divided fans, and to this day divide fans um, greatly. I've seen every extreme. The fans say this is their favorite movie, and it's a masterpiece, a classic, a film that is the equivalent of the 16th Chapel, the Fifth Sympathy, the Mona Lisa. It is the magnum opus of this director. It is, a classic, a masterpiece, a just wonderful film. And people say it's dog shit. People say it's one of the worst films they've ever seen. It's not only the least favorite superhero movie of all time. Um, it's unwatchable, and unpalatable for them. So with that being said, I am talking about Batman v Superman, the wonderful film by Zack Snyder. So yes, obviously I'm in the camp of I love this film. From the opening um, scene where we see the fight happening between Zod and Superman from Bruce Wayne's perspective, him running into that cloud of dust as the buildings fall, and seeing him save that little girl, and he's seeing these two titans battle and the damage and collateral damage that they're causing in the battle. Oh, it's so good. And going through the film, and I have the Ultimate Edition, so this film is a little bit longer than what came out theatrically. But I love what they do in this film. I don't really love that the Batman kills, but at the same time, I look at it as like an Elseworld story. This isn't our main continuity Batman. And some people aren't able to do that. Some people can't look at things other than what they're given at, in face value. And I understand that. But looking at the story and looking at how Lex Luthor manipulated so much to get Batman and Superman to distrust each other, to basically hate each other, to where he almost got it to where they killed each other, or one of them killed the other. And it's so well made, and the shots are beautiful. The ending is amazing to see, all three of them fighting Doomsday. And 10 years later, looking back at it, I think time will be kind to this film. I think the film will gain I think it already has a cult status. And it'll just continue to accrue that over the years. And people who hate it will always hate it. They won't come around. But I think other people will discover this film, rediscover it, and say, this is pretty good. Now, one thing I want to say about the infamous Martha scene. People love to make fun of, oh, that scene's so stupid, it's idiotic. What you're not understanding, when Superman said, when Superman tells Batman, save Martha, the reason it's so significant is Batman no longer looks at him as this alien, this creature, this outer space man. When he realized he has a mother, and his mother's name is the same as his mother's was, he now sees Clark as a human. He sees Clark as no longer this foreign, deadly, overpowered alien being. He sees him as a person, a human, someone with whom has people who he loves, a mom out there somewhere who's, even though she might be in danger, like any mom, is worried about her little boy. Even though he's an all-powerful, space, alien, essentially. And I think, he saw him as this weapon, this alien, this threat. And when he realized he has a mom, and her name is Martha too, it humanizes him. And it brings Bruce Wayne back down to earth, so to speak, to realize he has a mom like me. It's why during like the Holocaust, right? They had numbers on their arms. Why? Because it's easier to kill a number than it is if you know them by name. If you call them their name every day, it becomes a relationship. You humanize them. You dehumanize someone that you're trying to, kill. And Bruce Wayne had dehumanized him and taken away his humanity and saw him only as a threat, an alien, a creature, a monster that simply was wearing the shell of what a person looks like. When he said, save Martha, save my mom, that was washed away, and now he became a human again. He became a person. He became someone that has, something that he had, which is a mom. And not some mom from outer space, but a mom here on Earth, a human mom. And so I think that's so important. And I've seen, you can make fun of it, Martha, oh, it's so stupid. I think people are missing what that scene really means and the meaning behind it. And I really enjoyed it. I think, this whole movie is amazing. And if you watch the special edition, you get so much more context. I think there's one thing about Zack Snyder. He puts a lot of context in his film that without it, you can still watch the movie, but it won't have those nuances or make as much sense as if you were to watch it with it. So, it's quite a bit longer with the extra scenes, but I think it's worth it. It's such a good movie. Just like his Justice League movie. I love that film too. That film's a masterpiece. This one, I say, still falls short of being a masterpiece. It's very good. I like it a lot. But it's not quite a masterpiece for me. Justice League is. Of course, Zack Snyder's. We don't talk about the other one. Much like Bruno, that doesn't get spoken about in this house. So, but yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a masterpiece. That is the 16th chapel. That is his Mona Lisa. That is his Fifth Sympathy. That's his magnum opus. That's his best piece of art. That film is amazing. But I digress. We're talking about Batman v Superman, 10-year anniversary. Amazing film. Like I said, love him, I hate him. Whether you're a fan or someone who just doesn't like any of his films and can't stand him as a filmmaker, no matter your stance, Zack Snyder, you can't deny he has a unique style and a unique voice and a unique way of bringing his art to life. Is it everyone's cup of tea? Certainly not. But it is for me, and I love it. And, happy 10-year anniversary. That being said, go watch Daredevil. It's amazing. If you haven't seen Invincible, now's a great time to start. The show's amazing. It's amazing every week. It continues to go new places, present new ideas, do new things, and it continues to just be, such an amazing, well done show that ups the stakes. And I love it. It's so good. And man, this is going to be a great season. But there's only 3 seasons. I think each season's maybe like 12 episodes, so you don't have a whole lot to, you know. Not like if you had to tell someone, hey, go watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars from season 1. Like, you have what, well over 100 episodes. That's a lot. But this isn't that. It's like 12 episodes a season. There's only 3 seasons out in their entirety. Season 4 just started. Go watch it. Enjoy it. It's a great show. It deserves to be watched. Daredevil Born Again season 2's turned out to be amazing as well. So just go out there, nerd out, have some fun. Um, that's about it. So I love to hear what anyone thinks about Batman v Superman. Are you a fan? Do you love it like I do? Do you hate it? Why do you hate it? I mean, hey, listen, yeah, everyone's opinion is valid. I'm just curious, what you don't like about it. And maybe you might bring up some good points, and I might, I'll never not like it, but I might bring my opinion down. Probably not going to happen, but who knows? Who knows? If you bring up some amazing point that I can't help but agree with, I might slightly change my opinion on it. What do you think about, are you watching Invincible? Are you watching Daredevil? Um, Let me know. Let me know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great one. Be safe. And treat each other with respect and love, especially nowadays. Uh, we need a little bit more than that. We need a little bit more of that in every possible way. As Superman said in James Gunn's latest film, maybe being nice and being kind is the new punk rock. Because everyone seems to be mean. Being mean seems to be the norm. And if you're really, punk rock, if you're really anti-culture, maybe it's being nice and being kind and being genuine. Maybe that's really, um, something that's punk rock. That's anti-culture. So that's a thought. But have a good day, guys.